Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and Scott Blake here with you for your lunch hour. I'm glad that you've joined us out there, wherever it is that you might be tuning us in. Our phone lines will be open throughout the program, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. You can also comment on Facebook Live, and a lot of you do, and we'd love to hear from you throughout the entire program. A lot to cover today, a lot to get to, and we're going to dive into it. We'll have our good friend Jason Caldwell with us at 12:36, as we always do on Fridays. Catch up on a lot of the latest news and inside information with spring football practice, baseball. Also, we'll be talking about the latest Auburn commitment from about 30 minutes ago, and that's where we're going to start the program here shortly. But our program brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J.A. Smith Construction. Glad to have them part of the program. Scott, good to see you as we come on the air. Jamarian Burnett from Andalusia. I've watched him the last couple of years. Four-star running back, 6'1", 225 pounds. Pledged his commitment to Auburn about 30 minutes ago, right as we come on the air, and a huge get, number 10 player in the state, number 10 running back in the country, according to 24/7.
And he's 6'1",
225 pounds.
We finally get some size in the running.
Got a big guy coming in there, so you know, and that's again, last year we did not do a very good job in state. It's probably one of our worst years in state. A lot of that had to do with Brian Harsin, and most of you watched the Brian Harsin beatdown again yesterday on this program when we got going down a rabbit hole. But again, one of the more talented classes in all of, since they've been keeping up with star ratings, Scott.
Right.
And we were able to steal Keldrick Falk from Florida State, but it took Hugh Freeze doing that, but we weren't able to land very many at all in the top 10 or 15 because of the poor efforts and getting in late on guys. But not the case with this this new coaching staff and Hugh Freeze. They're attacking on every front. They're making kids priority, and they add another big-time player to the 2024 class.
Just think once he has this year under his belt, what he's going to do next year recruiting-wise. Just because, I mean, he came in late, kind of late, and he's made a big splash for sure.
Yeah, he has made a big splash, and I'm going to tell you, one of the things that you look at from a standpoint of filling needs, that's what Coach Freeze has talked about. This week during spring practice, we're going to talk about that. Got some quotes from him. Talked about it a little bit yesterday, but there's some deficiencies in this team, in this roster, that aren't going to be fixed overnight. And basically looking at it from a standpoint of about 20 to 22 really players that could be added to this roster. That's an entire recruiting class, Scott.
It is.
I mean, that's where we are, and they're going to try to again scrimmage today and see, but they just don't have enough players to really do what they need to do in a scrimmage standpoint. So we'll see how spring continues to progress, but A-Day will happen on April the 8th, which is right around the corner. That's a big weekend for baseball as well. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But sticking with the commitments here in this 2024 class, if you look at it, you got Walker White, the highly touted quarterback out of the state of Arkansas, 6'3", 215 pounds, the number 9 quarterback in the country. The number 1 player in the state of Arkansas.
Wow.
Able to get him, and he's a big deal. He's a big part of this as well. He was down at the junior day a couple of weeks ago, and man, he was recruiting as hard or harder than any of the coaches were.
Right.
And it's key to get that guy in every class that kind of leads the charge.
You need a leader. You got to have a leader. Each class has to have one or two. If you have one or two leaders, they can recruit better for you also.
Well, then you add Amon Lane, who's a 4-star from Moody, who's been a pledge for a while, big-time cornerback commitment there. And then Jaden Lewis coming over from Anniston, who everybody talked about how fast this kid is. So 2 defensive backs, a quarterback, and now a running back in this class, and they're all 4-stars.
Wow.
So, you got 4 commitments, you got 4 stars on this thing, and, that kind of shows you where Hugh Freeze is going to be in this recruiting cycle for Auburn. He knows they need people, but he's not just going out and grabbing guys. He's selecting. Having these kids come in on a regular basis and be present at some of these spring practices and inviting some. He invited that kid from Mississippi we talked about last week, one of the top players in the country that had a great visit to Auburn. So again, Scott, it's the law of averages.
Right.
You got to get enough of them in there to give yourself a chance.
Where do we fall now in rankings on that class?
Overall, right now, it's the number 18 class in the country. So. And with 4 commitments.
We can get better.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we finished 19th this year after we were in the 60s.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a good start there for sure. But so big time get there. If you're just tuning us in, Jamarian Burnett coming over from Andalusia, the 2024 class. And Auburn getting his commitment over. I read the list to you. I mean, that's another way to look at a player. You want good players, but you look at the offer list, and he had 30+ offers. I mean, from everybody that you would want an offer from. And again, I've watched him play the last couple of years. He's a phenomenal player. Averaged 133 yards a game, right at 7.9 yards per carry. Last year, but he's a big boy. I mean, 6'1", 225 pounds. You'd expect, and I think for a football, you're gonna be toting the mail. You're gonna get 7-8 yards a carry.
He's got a lot of experience to carrying the ball, that's for sure. But when's the last time we got to recruit that size at running back?
I mean, at running back, I'd have to go back. I mean, Rudy Johnson was that size weight-wise, but he wasn't 6'1".
No.
I'd have
Stephen
to Stephen
Davis.
Davis.
Yeah,
Stephen Davis. I think you and I thought about it at the same time. Bo Jackson was what, 6'2", 200
maybe 6'2". Yeah.
215, 220 pounds.
Right.
This is a big kid, and again, like you said, adding some size to the backfield, but in the 2024 class, a big pickup today as he announced at 11:30. Scott, last night, the NCAA tournament, we're going to talk about that. K-State over Michigan State in a thriller, went to overtime. This Kansas State Wildcat team was picked toward the bottom of the Big 12. Man, they're not playing like it right now.
Watching the game last night, and had a couple of different text groups going on saying this is the best game of the tournament so far. I mean, it was just tit for tat. They were,
right.
Michigan State hit a 3, they'd hit a 3, and back and forth. And K-State's point guard, he's tiny, but he is a general on the floor.
Well, Florida Atlantic's got one, and K-State does too, and both those kids are, they kind of stir the drink. But a big win there for Kansas State. Arkansas, the SEC did not fare well last night. Obviously, Arkansas just got destroyed, and they never were in the game, Scott. I mean, really from the outset, UConn was clearly the better team. They got out to a quick 10-point lead, and they never looked back. They're tough to defend inside. Luke and I talked about UConn earlier in the year. I know Alabama played UConn earlier in the year. They're one of the better teams, we felt like. Then they kind of hit a lull during the year, but they've got an impeccable record against non-conference opponents. So Auburn played them last year, went into, I think, double overtime and ended up losing. At the beginning of the year. But this is a great program. Sonogo in the middle is a tough guy to handle. And it's Ramadan, so right now he's fasting. He didn't have anything to eat or drink yesterday, and everybody else probably should follow suit if they could play like that.
He was a man among boys last night. It was just amazing to watch him. They would just bounce off of him. He'd go in there and post up, and those guys could not move him. He was, he's strong. He's not that tall, but he's just so wide.
He's a big dude, man, inside. He takes up a lot of space in the paint. Yeah. Florida Atlantic, again, continues to just reel off wins. You know, this is a team at 33-3 going into last night. And, you know, Tennessee tried to do what they've done to everybody. They just try to bully you. It's an ugly game when you play Tennessee. They're not very good offensively, but they know their role. They were able to get Duke out of sorts and bully them around and get them into their style of game, and it worked. Florida Atlantic, even though they were undersized, they didn't have any of it. And Plavich inside tries to fight everybody. He gets a technical foul about every game.
I can't believe they didn't have more, you know, not technicals, but flagrant fouls.
Right.
Even the shooter, I can't think of his name. Starts with a V.
Vescovy?
Vescovy, yeah. I mean, they showed him a couple of times.
Well, Vescovy and Plavich both have an edge to them.
Right.
They're going to throw an elbow. They're going to do a little bit of the chippy stuff. He reminds me a little bit of Grayson Allen when he played at Duke, always tripping somebody and then out acting like, oh, I was in the way, you know, and everybody finally decided, you know, look, dude, we're not all dumb. You're doing it on purpose. But Florida Atlantic, being undersized, and struggled from outside hitting threes early, thought it might cost them.
Last 10 minutes they got hot.
But, man, I think they went on a 20-4 run in the second half.
Right.
Also Gonzaga last night. We'll talk about them in UCLA when we come back, and we'll also talk about tonight's matchups, the other half of the Sweet 16. Stay tuned. We're just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and Scott Blake here with you till 1 o'clock, and we'd love to hear from you out there. 256-234-6221. I was actually looking down. We're going to finish up talking about the NCAA tournament, then we'll talk about some Auburn baseball. Again, we'll have Jason Caldwell on at 12:36 to be part of the program, as he is on every Friday. Looking at that Gonzaga game last night. That was a UCLA team that jumped out, really kind of ran away from Gonzaga. Gonzaga came back. They took a 10 or 11-point lead and then about blew it, Scott, in the last basically 2 minutes of the game. You know, they came back and hit a big three, took a 1-point lead with what was on the clock, 10, 11 seconds to go. And looked like Gonzaga was going to have a massive collapse and fall short once again. But man, what a shot there from basically the tail end of the March Madness logo. Hit a three and killed UCLA's hopes right there.
Right. Well, when Timmy finally gets out of there, he's been there 18 years, I think, already.
I thought he was leaving last year, you know, and then he comes back. But
yeah, but he had 36 points, you said.
Right.
I think. You know, he is their guy right now for sure. He's the go-to guy. There was a post on Facebook last week about Timmy and his age and how old he looked and that type of thing. And I just put out there, I heard he was 36 or something, just playing.
Right.
And some Gonzaga fan just lit me up on Facebook.
Nobody cared.
I know. I was like, what? Then people started like, but anyways, it was just funny how they protect this guy. I mean, I know he's only 23 years old or whatever, but it seems like he's played since he's a freshman. But they're I don't think they go any further than the next game.
Yeah, I mean they had 36 points last night. You look at it, Smith had 14. Strother, who hit that three, had 16, so that was a big one for him. But Drew Timme, 36 points. He carried them on his back. He's done that a lot. You know, I was on Gary Harris's show this morning in Tuscaloosa. I am on there every Friday giving the Auburn report. And it's like I told Gary, I said, look, when you get in the tournament or when you have a team usually that's a team that can go deep in the tournament, there's a guy on that team that says, look, I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it on my back, and I'm going to ride everybody to where we need to go. And that's what Drew Timme does. I mean, you know, they talked to him last night. You know, he's the leader of this team. He's been the leader of this team for a while. And that's what Auburn was lacking this year. You know, kind of did that in a cross-reference. Auburn has good players, but they didn't have anybody that stepped up was the leader.
No leader. Just like the recruit, the quarterback,
Walker White.
Yep. He's a leader. So I mean,
you can already tell he's a leader.
You got to have somebody like that just to come in and set the pace and set the attitude. And if you've got someone like that, people will follow him. You know, Jalen Williams probably should have been our leader, but he's too quiet.
It's not his personality.
Right.
I mean, you know, you can't and we talked about this the other day. You cannot make somebody a leader.
Right.
It has to be in you.
Right.
I mean, it has to be, you know, kind of an innate characteristic is part of who you are, as your DNA.
Probably the nicest guy out there on the court.
He is.
But he's not. He doesn't have the firmness and the.
Everybody's not cut out for that, and
right.
everybody doesn't want to be that guy. So, but anyway, Drew Timme again with another phenomenal game, and he gets them through to Saturday's matchup. All right. Tonight, some good games as well. Obviously, that's an oxymoron statement. When you get the Sweet 16, they all should be good. San Diego State and Alabama will get this thing started at 5:30. San Diego State 29-6, Alabama 31-5. Alabama's a 7.5-point favorite. You know, the health of Brandon Miller. I think he'll be fine. I think you'll see the best version of Brandon Miller in this game, and I think he'll rise to the occasion, just like, again, a Drew Timme or anybody else does, a Sasser for Houston like they did against Auburn. The big players love the moment. They tend to shine in it. The question is, can San Diego State, can they do what a lot of teams haven't been able to do this year, and that's, play, I guess, a little bit more physical basketball than Alabama likes to play. Really, that's the only chink in the armor anybody's been able to find is the Oklahoma game, the Texas A&M game, some of the games where teams just decided to play like Tennessee, and kind of push them around and kind of get them out of their element. Alabama's almost unbeatable when they're shooting a three well.
They're so loaded is not a good word, but they're deep. They're just so deep. That's it. The point guards are.
Well, Pringle in the SEC tournament had, I think he had either 19 or 21 points. The next game, he didn't even hardly play. I mean, so when you got a guy that you had to have him have that performance in that game to get to the next game, and then the next game he doesn't even play.
Well, one game Miller didn't score any points.
That's right.
Yeah,
so well, that was the NCAA tournament.
I know.
That was the first game of the tournament.
When they played Auburn down in Auburn, we held him to 6 or 7 points.
But they've got
so many
6, 7 options,
and they're all 6'7" and 6'8".
That's right. That's right. The length causes a lot of trouble for teams, and but again. They like to drive to the basket and kick out for threes. And
Quinterly is probably the quickest guy in the league, I think.
Well, and he could come back next year.
I know.
For a 6th year.
Right.
If he decides to. That's what Gary and I were talking about on his show this morning. But again, I think even with all that talent, if Javon Quinterly hasn't stepped up his game the way he stepped it up in the last month, Alabama may not be in the position they're in.
Yep. He leads the team.
He is. I mean, if you're not a fan of Alabama, everybody else really doesn't like Javon Quinterly because he does play with a little bit of an edge. He kind of talks a little bit of trash. Luke and I talked about that a little bit, one day. And, some players have to be that way to kind of get themselves going. And that's who he is. Miami and Houston will tip off at 6:15. That would have been the matchup for Auburn. If Auburn would have made it through, that would have been a rematch of last year. I'm not sure we wanted that.
Probably not.
They're two really good teams. Houston, if they stay healthy, as good as anybody in the country. Obviously, they're the number 1 team in the poll. Alabama was the number 1 overall seed, but Houston's been at the top of the poll all year for a reason. They're a solid team. We come back, we'll talk about the other 2 games, and we'll dive into some Auburn baseball, some Auburn spring football, and have Jason Caldwell as well. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab, discounted up to $9,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $6,750 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com. Plus, no payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here on this Friday. Brett Pritchard, Scott Blake here with you. Program brought to you by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group, L.A. Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and J.A. Smith Construction, both residential and commercial. Scott, finishing up here with the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16. The last 2 games on tap tonight will be Princeton-Creighton at tip at 8 o'clock. That's the least interesting of the games, just from the fact that it's a 15-6 seed game. But Princeton, and they just play an aggravating style of basketball, well-coached style of basketball that if they get you out of your element, it can frustrate you. And you look up on the clock, and it's 3 minutes to go in the game, and they're either up 2 or up 4 or down whatever. It's right there. And again, athletically, they're not going to run away from anybody, but they'll try to get you out of your style of play.
So they've always done that. It's amazing how one school can have the same style of play for the past 30 years.
And they have.
And every year or two, they'll come in there with a good team. They can slow you down and frustrate you. And
it's just well executed.
Right.
David was on here a couple of days ago talking about that, and he was talking about one of the coaches that went up and learned that Princeton style offense and came back and coached that in high school, and how hard it is to teach it, but once you get it down, that's a thing of beauty. So
Benjamin Russell played Oak Mountain back when David Dunlap was playing.
Yep.
And we beat them by like 3 points. I went to the game up there. It was
but they played the similar.
It was the same game, and it was so boring.
Yeah,
it was like a 42 to 40.
That's what they want you to.
Yeah, but they had the same game plan. It was like watching Princeton play. But it'll be fun to watch. Probably go to sleep watching it at 8 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, you'll be asleep. You'll miss Xavier in Texas when they tip off at 8:45.
We'll be gone.
But Texas is a team that a lot of people in their brackets pick them to make the Final Four and challenge, even though they've been through some turmoil with their coach Chris Beard getting let go and all. They've persevered through it, and here they are on the cusp of being in the Elite Eight. They're playing a 3 seed in Xavier, but Texas is a 4.5 point favorite tonight. I mean,
I don't know. It'll be a good game. They're fun. I hope they're all like the Michigan State Kansas State game. They're all
the games yesterday, with the exception of Arkansas, just got their door. Somebody tweeted out, Eric Musselman looks like a guy that's always just missed his plane at an airport. His facial expressions, he's like, "What? Like, it's my fault? What? And he just not a likable guy, man. I hate to be that way, but he just." But he didn't have to take his shirt off and get in the stands yesterday.
No, he didn't.
That's a good thing for everybody. Everybody won with that. Let's talk about Auburn baseball. They pick up a massive win at home to start this 3-game series with Georgia after being swept last week at Arkansas. Georgia got swept at home too, so these were two teams with their backs against the wall. And again, Auburn, if you look at their schedule and you look at the SEC. This needs to almost be a sweep.
It does need to be. And I have to ask for forgiveness. I fell asleep and didn't see the end of it. These late games are awful,
It was a walk-off walk.
I know, walk-off walk.
So if you
I missed the second one. I missed them win late in the game on the extra innings. But, yeah, the walk. They scored 3 runs in the 9th inning to tie it up. And so, golly, you got to win that. If you tie it up in the 9th inning and you're at home, you better win that game.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
and again, to win the 7-6, down 6-3 going into the 9th, that battle back tight, able to get it and win it in extra innings. Again, if you look at the schedule and if you look at the top 25, the SEC is top heavy, big time. I mean, it's in top 25 is what I'm saying. I think there's 9 teams out of the 14 that are ranked.
Yes.
Here's Auburn's upcoming next. Let's just go through their next 6 series. They got to go to Florida next week.
Wow.
Now, you're playing midweek games. I think North Alabama comes up this week, and then I think the next midweek game is UAB, and then there's a Georgia Tech game mixed in there. So I won't go through those. But then you got A&M coming in, who is the defending SEC regular season champs from last year, outside in the Western Division, not Tennessee, won it outright. Then you have to go to Tuscaloosa and play a much improved Alabama team with Brad Bohannon, who's doing a great job with that program. Yep. Believe it or not, you look toward the Mississippi State series coming to Auburn as also another, hey, we got an advantage. We better take advantage. Mississippi State's at the bottom right now, man.
How many times have you said that?
Not very often.
Not often.
And they're not going to put up with that very long in Starkville. David and I were talking about this the other day. Every SEC team takes pride in one sport. It's their sport. Well, Mississippi State baseball is their sport. It's the only national championship they got in school history.
Right.
Is in baseball. They maybe have the best facility in the country.
They do.
In Duty Noble Field. Mm-hmm. And last year they were at the bottom. Now they're back again. Those fans aren't going to put up with that very long.
And their fans show up too.
Was it seat 21,000 people?
Yeah, and they're all out in the outfield cooking and having a good time. They have it's an event over there. And they won't put up with it long.
Yeah, they won't. So Mississippi State, and then you go to South Carolina teams lost 1 game this year. I mean, this team.
It just don't get easy.
This is Ray Tanner-ish South Carolina territory again when he was there. And then you get the number 1 team in the country at home in LSU. So you're playing, 4 of those 6 opponents, Florida, A&M, South Carolina, LSU, all highly ranked.
9 in the top 25.
That's right.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't even talk about Tennessee and Vanderbilt and, Ole Miss and all that. And then Ole Miss is on the road after LSU, I think. So I think those are your next 7 series. And then
buckle up.
Buckle up, no doubt about it. Going to be tough for everybody. Coach Thompson was on the program a few weeks ago, Scott, and he said, look, every weekend in this conference is like playing in Omaha.
Exactly.
I mean, it is. I mean, then you're about to add Texas and Oklahoma to this conference, who was also, by the way, out in Omaha.
Right.
So, you're looking at it. The SEC tournament may be a harder ticket in the future than Omaha because you got better teams.
Top teams, yeah.
You got better teams overall.
Exactly.
So they're kind of smothering out the rest of the country. So they'll do like everything else. They'll add teams to the College World Series because we're getting too many SEC.
Well, tomorrow's game is going to be exciting because I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll be in live and in color.
That's right. Singing.
You'll be standing on the pitcher's mound.
No, behind home plate.
Behind home plate. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Not calling balls and strikes.
No.
Hey, we're going to take a break. We come back. We'll have Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers with us. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WF Cabinetry in Alex City has immediate openings for first and second shift production roles in addition to immediate openings for Class A CDL drivers with the ability to be at home weekly. We're ready for you to join our family and grow with us. Prior cabinet experience is always welcome. Second shift offers a flexible 10-hour, 4-day work schedule, giving you a great work-life balance right here at home. WF Cabinetry offers excellent health insurance and 401k benefits, as well as an employee purchase discount with daily production bonus opportunities. You can apply in person at 2212 Airport Boulevard in Alexander City or call 256-234-7900.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. Going to go to the phone lines, welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers. Jason, happy Friday to you, buddy.
It's good. I'm good, guys. How about y'all? Y'all good?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you, man, as always, here on Fridays. Hey, we'll start with the news. At 11:30 today, Jamarian Burnett pledged his commitment to Auburn, a big get in the 2024 class, number 10 player in the state, number 10 running back in the country, according to you guys, with 24/7, 6'1", 225 pounds. He's a big dude.
Yeah, this is a guy that Auburn hadn't had in a while. I mean, you got to go to probably Cam Petway to have anything close to what Jamari Burnett is. I mean, 6'1", 230. Cam Petway was kind of a fullback in a tailback's body. Jamari Burnett is just a big running back. I mean, we saw him last year, and myself and Christian Clemente both thought it was kind of mini Derrick Henry. I mean, he wears number 2. It kind of looks like, the same way. And so I think you look at it, and he's a big physical guy that can get downhill in a hurry, and he's a bruiser. But he's a guy that has enough speed to stretch the field and do some things too. So I think you look at it, they got ability to add some different kind of weapons and different kinds of running backs to this group with addition of Burnett.
Yeah, you got four commitments now in this 24 class, Jason. It's off to a great start for you, Freeze. All 4-star guys: Amon Lane, Walker White. I mean, this 4 really good players.
It is, and you're right. Off to a good start, and they've had loads of visitors just coming throughout the building. Really about every day of the spring. And so I think, yesterday, Tim Coleman, 5-star wide receiver from Central Phoenix City, was in yesterday. Jamonta Waller, 5-star defensive lineman pass rusher from Mississippi, is here today. One of the top wide receivers in the country from Michigan is here today. Just talent, and that's it. You got to get guys on campus and recruit them and build relationships, and that's what this staff has been able to do. And, it's already paying off in 2024, and I think it's only going to continue to grow as they continue to let guys see what this is all about, see this new facility, and kind of watch these guys in action. Yeah,
that's something all of us hadn't been used to the last couple of years, and don't want to drag up bad memories, but just put the program in a bad place. And Coach Freeze talked about it this week with some of the reporters. I know he talked with you guys, Jason, and he's just being honest about it. There's a lot of holes in this roster still. He talked about the quarterbacks and the wide receivers being two positions that's really got to get better. I think we all know that as well. Just kind of your thoughts overall with just a few practices left in this spring heading into A-Day, the overall feel of the program right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very positive vibe, but you're right. I just talked to a couple of high school coaches who've been here, watch practice Wednesday, a couple of staffs, and obviously there's a different vibe, but there's still some holes on this roster, and that's what I've been trying to tell folks. I mean, what they've been able to do in a short time has been really impressive, but what that's done is basically taking you from a 3-win team to giving yourself 7, 8 wins, maybe if things fall right, and if your quarterback shows up and is a legit guy, then maybe you get to 9. I mean, but that's how far it was. I mean, they went from an offensive line group that wasn't going to give them a chance to compete to now they have a chance to compete. Is it going to be the top of the league? I don't think it'll get there. But if you give yourself a chance in year one, and now you got to build on that, get better, and it's all about players. They got more players than they had, a lot more players than they had in November, and that was the biggest deal. They had to have those things. Then you got to get more and better players heading into year 2. But this year, how much improvement can you make? What can you show those future guys? Hey, come be a part of this. That's what it's all about.
Big get for Auburn in the end of that class this year was Keldrick Falk. Coach Freeze really had high praises for him, said he could be a very special player in this conference before it's all said and done. Also, Jeffrey Mba seems to be finding his niche on the defensive line. Kind of talk about the defensive side.
Yeah, no, you look at Keldrick Falk, and that was as big a get as they could possibly have, and he's already shown up. And this is a guy that had wrist surgery as soon as he got on campus, dealing with an issue that he had that bothered him going back to senior year at Highland Home. And he's 6'6", 275, been able to make plays and do the things he's done, even though he didn't have that off-season winter conditioning. So once they get done with spring, this summer, he's a guy that has a chance to make huge gains when you start talking about what he's doing on the field. Jeffrey Mba, year 1, coming out of junior college, hadn't played football but about 4 years, originally from Africa, moved to France, and so he's a very raw player. And so there's the defensive line has a ton of potential, bringing in a guy like Justin Rogers, who's a massive mountain of a guy on the interior, Marcus Harris up there. I mean, they've got some pieces. The linebacker group's getting better with a guy like Austin Keys coming in from Ole Miss. I think he's a true classic downhill middle linebacker for this group. And so some pieces are there, and, just a matter of, continuing to add to the group.
Back to the recruiting thing, I think, perception is reality, and I think now these kids are perceiving Auburn to be out there wanting players now for some reason. We didn't want them the past couple of years. So you mentioned the buzz. There is a good buzz going on down there now, and I think that's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah, no, you're right. The wanting part is that's it. It's about relationships. Right. That is recruiting 101. It's relationships, building relationships, getting guys on campus, especially at a place like Auburn, and not just getting them on campus, but you also have to talk. Mickey Freeze, just about every one of these top prospects we talk to say, look, he's the guy that I talk to the most in terms of head coaches. It was the exact opposite under Brian Harsey. He wasn't a guy that had relationships with recruits. It shows. That's the difference. That's how you finish recruiting. Your assistant gets you to the finish line. Your head coach finishes it. And that's what they've got in the guy now, is a guy that has finished and won those battles. And now it's going to be really interesting to see them as they get a few more months, a summer camp circuit, all those things under the belt, how that changes heading into August.
Jason, good stuff as always, brother. We appreciate you more than you know, and always look forward to having you on Fridays with us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Appreciate it, weekend. Jason, thanks so much. How did Brian Harsin ever even get to the point where he became a coach?
We've been talking about leadership.
I mean, as bad as that is.
We've been talking about leadership the whole show.
God,
we had no leadership.
Could be the worst ever.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, seriously. From a guy that didn't grasp the concept of what it took to lead a program. He just had no clue or didn't care.
But he worked out. He looked good.
Up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Yeah.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Kalijah Idol is coming to Lake Martin and the River region. The opening rounds are at Martin's on Lake Martin starting March 17th. Then at Alabama's Little Bit of Texas at Wetumpka from March 31st to April 22nd. Kalijah Idol 15.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bugs quote.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the program here. Again, Scott, thanks to Jason Caldwell being on the program as he is on Fridays with us. A lot of great information. Got that coaching clinic going on down there. So make sure you go out there and follow Jason for the latest in Auburn information. He does a great job with 24/7 Sports and Inside the Auburn Tigers. Great articles. You know, and Jason probably covers the baseball side better than anybody on the beat. You know, Auburn's got some really good beat writers, and you know, we've had Brian Matthews on with us before. We've had Justin Hokanson on. But Jason's a regular part of our program, has been for a long time, and really does a good job on all sports. But, you know, baseball, again, in action tonight, and then wrap it up tomorrow because that series started last night. Auburn won that game 7-6 in extra innings. Got the NCAA tournament second half of the Sweet 16 that will start at 5:30 with Alabama and San Diego State. Alabama, the lone SEC team left.
The only one we got left.
The only one that's left in the tournament. You know, going back, talking about this spring football, there are some pieces. You know, you look at what Auburn was able to do as far as going out and getting some of these offensive linemen, Scott. We talked about it on Gary's show this morning, to go along with some of the guys that we have, like a Jeremiah Wright or Xavion Miller. You had Avery Jones from East Carolina, who Bert, we call him up there, Brett Bielema, who looks like Bert at Illinois, thought they had Avery Jones, and then Hugh Freeze went in and made a full court press on him. One of the top guys in the transfer portal as far as offensive lineman. Right. He's starting right now with the ones, obviously. You also bring in Gunnar Britton. You bring in from Western Kentucky, who is a big get. We saw him last year up close and personal. We saw how good that Western Kentucky team was. They dadgum almost beat us.
Yeah, they were huge.
And then you brought in Dylan Wade from Tulsa. It was another transfer. So you got 3 huge pickups out of the portal to help your offensive line. And I think Jason alluded to it. Now you've got a line with Jeremiah Wright, Xavion Miller, those 3 guys, some of these other guys that are also out there that will have a chance. Tate Johnson that got hurt was playing. Now you got a chance to be competitive up front.
They may make our quarterbacks look good now.
Well, it could. I mean, let's
they don't
be
have to run
honest
for their
about
life.
it.
They don't have
Right.
to run for their life.
And for all the shots that Robbie Ashford took, literally and figuratively, last year from people in the media and from players on the field, who knows what he could do when you're constantly running for your life?
I mean, as soon as
who
the ball
knows
is
how
snapped.
good your running backs are
Right.
when they don't have any holes to run through? How good are your receivers when you don't have time to get them the football?
Right.
So, but some notes. Again, kind of going off of yesterday, how bad was the passing game? Hugh Freeze said, look, if I had to pick 2 positions right now that have to get, vastly better, and it's quarterbacks and receivers. And 172.7 yards per game last year was dead last in the conference. 51.6% completion was dead last in the conference. 2,072 total passing yards, dead last in the conference. And this is obviously dead last, only threw 9 touchdowns all year.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it's amazing you won what you won.
You don't want to show that report card to your mama.
No, that's not one you want to show. But, and again, you got to build off of what you got. And I think Coach Freeze is doing the best job he can of saying things in a nice way and not throwing anybody under the bus or discrediting kids for their effort. But there's no question that Auburn's going to have to go out and get a quarterback at the end of spring practice in the portal to come in and add to that room.
But with the line that we're going to have, like you said, they're going to play better. They're going to play better with the line, even if the guys we have right now.
I'd like to see what Holden Garner can do.
If the line can block and give them an extra second and a half.
Right,
just one more look.
That adds up huge in football.
Yeah.
That extra second and a half can determine whether a guy can get downfield and get open or not.
Right.
And so, again, that it all kind of comes together.
And you aren't running in that second and a half trying to get away from somebody. You're actually looking down the field.
That's right. That's right. Again, Auburn baseball in action today, and need to get a sweep.
Right.
Again, 2 out of 3 for sure. You don't want to lose this series. If you lose this series at home, you might as well just understand what's coming. But I did want to say something else about Auburn baseball. Not going to see Gonzalez tonight. I'm not sure you're going to see Gonzalez anytime in the near future, and that's not good news. It just seems like every daggum year, the number 1 pitcher on the staff gets hurt. Tanner Burns, Casey Mize, now Joseph Gonzalez. I think last year we had some injury issues and we're able to fight through them. But just from some words that we're hearing, it could be a little while before we see Gonzalez. And again, you don't want to run him out there when he's not ready. But I don't know when or if you might see him back this year.
Not this weekend, but
definitely not this weekend. No. Ty came in and asked if we thought we'd see Joseph Gonzalez, and the answer, unfortunately, is no. So, and again, you take the best pitcher off every staff in this conference, man, it affects. So right now you're putting the TBA out there because you don't want teams you want them to think, okay, maybe he is going to throw. It kind of dictates how they line their pitching staff up for the weekend. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But But again, that's going to wrap it up for the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Scott, again, glad to have you part of the team now. Here with us on Fridays. Again, thanks to Jason Caldwell for being part of the program as he is every Friday. We'll be on the air tomorrow for Saturday Sports Countdown from 7 to 9 and back to our normal schedule next week with more Auburn Blitz every day, Monday through Friday. For Scott Blake, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll help you out. See you next time.